Yeah, love guys, welcome to your second session of Together We Breathe. Now, I've got news on our body. Good news is we had an amazing second session and I forgot to hit record. So, I am filming this second session in the series again for you. And I have my curriculum and what we went through and what we did. So, we're just going to do it again, right? So, it shouldn't be much different at all. We're going to start as we always do. Sit up nice and tall, close your eyes. Remember, you want to try to elevate your hips above your knees. That might even, for a lot of us, mean sitting up on a chair as well, right? You want to be comfortable. For some of us, it might even mean lying on our back. So just try to get a nice long spine. Soften your breath, soften your face. And like any relationship, what I would first invite you to do is just to look at your breath. Try not to fight with your breath. Try not to control your breath. Just look at your breath. Look at how it moves. Is it in your belly? Is it in your rib cage? Is it inside of your body? Is it up into your chest? Is it hard? Is it fast? Is it shallow? Is it deep? If you had to put an emotion to your breath, what would that emotion be? Would it be tense or angry, or relaxed, soft, disengaged, frustrated? So you don't want to enter any relationship to have a conversation and then just start telling someone what to do, right? First thing you want to do is sit. You want to listen. Same thing with the breath. And we mentioned last week about breath being shape change. So the more space you can create in your ribcage and your chest, the more air you can receive, right? We talked about the fact that you don't actually pull air into your body, you create space to receive. So maybe see if you can feel, don't fight with it, but just feel your ribcage and your chest expand. Feel your breath start to move up into the sides of your body. Try to keep your breath through your nose if you can, right? And on your next inhale, just bring your hands to your heart, your hands to your chest. And connecting, calling on your understanding of God. We remember that everything has a potential to be a form of prayer, right? Every action, every word, every thought, every practice. Breath work is no different. So connecting to your understanding of God, I invite you to call on your prayers and your intentions, whatever those might be. Together we ask that our time tonight be blessed, and that the vibration and the resonance we create will contribute to the healing of our world. And that it can move within us whatever needs to move and shift for us to become an element of healing in the world, our lives. We ask that anyone now fighting for their breath or struggling in any way, emotionally, mentally, or physically, that our breath can help them breathe, that they can feel the benefits and the resonance of our practice. Together we inhale, and we offer up our praise and intentions with our next exhale. Gently release your hands, gently lift your chin, and open your eyes slowly. So of course we're gonna do some breath work towards the end of our session today, and we're gonna do more than we did last week, right? So last week we did about 10 minutes. This week we're gonna try to go for about 20 minutes, right? But before I do get there, I have my notes here, right? I want to recap a few things we did in the last session. That is the first session, or the session I forgot to push record on. So we talked about the importance of breath and its ability to impact our lives, right? So we talked about how we live this fast-paced life and we live in the sympathetic state, like fight or flight, and like we're being chased by a lion. And we looked at the relationship between body, breath, and mind. And much like when we're physically stressed, our body gets tense and our breath gets fast and shallow. That's usually the state most of us live in. But if we have a conscious relationship to our breath, then your breath knows, your body and your intelligence of your body knows it can draw on your breath now to make the reverse happen. So if we slow our breath down, we can help our body relax, quiet our mind, and calm our emotional state. So the relationship between body, breath, and mind are not far off. They're not some distant relationship. It's very direct. They're so interconnected, right? So everything that happens on a physical, mental, emotional level affects your breath, and vice versa. So if we can cultivate this relationship to our breath, it's probably the most powerful tool we have to keep this parasympathetic state where we can be calm and relaxed and respond to life consciously rather than reacting to life emotionally, right? And we talked about the difference between conscious breathing and automatic breathing. So when we talk about learning how to breathe, someone's reaction might be, I know how to breathe, I've been breathing for decades. But automatic breathing, it's something we do as soon as we come out of the womb, pretty much, right? It's something we do every day. You can live for 100 years with automatic breath and barely survive, right? But conscious breathing is completely different. That develops an intimate relationship with your breath, the most powerful thing you have access to, right? So think of it in terms of, like when we talk about physical muscle memory, talk about your conscious breathing practice, 5-10 minutes a day, being like you are creating this relationship with your breath so that your body and your being knows it has that to go back to whenever it needs to, right? But if you never cultivate that relationship, when your body is experiencing this anxiety or depression or this emotion, right? And it's in this state of fight and flight where it wants to react to everything. It doesn't have your breath in its toolbox. It doesn't know how to use this relationship to your breath because it's never cultivated a conscious relationship to your breath before. So that's one of the benefits to taking time every day, 5-10 minutes a day, just to cultivate this relationship to our breath so that we know whether it might be unconscious, but when we need to, our body and the intelligence of our being knows that it can go there. It can draw on our breath at any point in time when it needs to. And we talked about how breathing is actually more impactful than what you eat and exercise. Now, don't get me wrong, right? Don't take it the wrong way. I'm not saying what you eat is not important. I'm also not saying exercise is not important. These things are really fundamental to our health and our well-being and how we show up in the world, right? But what I mentioned last week that is really fundamental to acknowledge is we eat 3 meals a day. We breathe 20,000 times a day or more. And we can last and we can survive 3 weeks without food. We can't survive, most of us, more than 3 or 4 minutes without breathing. And I think I drew a reference to, if we look at the wind in nature, in our environment, and we look at how much the wind shapes rock formations and shapes everything we see around us. Now, imagine that you breathe 20,000 times a day. So you may not be breathing at 50, 60 knots, but the breath and the force of your breath is consistent, right? Somebody asked what the effect of our breath was on all the other aspects of our body. And I mentioned that the way you breathe and your diaphragm and your diaphragm and your lungs actually kind of engulf all the other organs of your body, right? Your diaphragm moves down in your abdominal cavity. Your heart actually sits in the inside of your left lung almost. So imagine that whenever your lungs move or your diaphragm moves, it's kind of like giving all the internal organs of your body a massage, right? To say that even on a physical level, that the act of breathing properly does not impact the organs of your body would be ridiculous, because 100% it does, even if on a physical level. However, we know that the breath impacts the body in so many other ways as well, right? So last week we talked about how breath affects your heart, blood circulation, lymphatic system, digestive system, even your speech. And then we looked at how your relationship to your breath, your mind, your body, your emotions, actually has the impact to calm emotions, anxiety, depression. And we talked even about PTSD. And one of the main treatments to PTSD is conscious breathing. It's used in the army and the military and the Navy. It's used by psychologists. And right now, according to when we watch this, but right now we're in a pandemic. And from almost all of us, I would like to say all of us, whether we realize it or not, we are traumatized. If you don't think you're emotionally affected by what's going on in the world around us right now, then I would encourage you to listen, because trauma and stress, emotional stress, does not always have to be something major like assault or oppression or those kind of things. Sometimes it's really subtle and powerful. So right now, the state that we're in, and a lot of people in a state of anxiety and uncertainty, whenever and wherever you are in your life, your breath has the power to dissolve that, right? We mentioned last week that this quote from B.K. saying that your mind is king of everything, but your breath is king of your mind. So your breath has the power to dissolve any anxiety in your mind and to shift the perception of your mind, simply by bringing it to the present moment and invoking the parasympathetic nervous system. And then before we get into breathing practices today, I want to talk about, I know we did this last week, but it's really important to go over again, right? Maybe we might talk about some different aspects of it, but the anatomy of the breath. So we spoke about how you don't actually pull air into your body. We spoke about how breath works as a vacuum. It's physics, right? You have a thoracic cavity, like a box, consider it like a box, right? And inside this box is a set air pressure. So when you expand the box, what happens is the air pressure inside of you decreases. And I explained this last week in Trinidadian language, because we have such a party culture, that imagine you were in a room and you had 200 people in that room, it's a party. You were in a party and you 200 people are in this room in this party, and you're all standing up really close together, you can barely move, right? So your pressure is high. But if you're double the size of the room, then you have more space. You can move around freely, so the air pressure inside decreases. That's the same way your breath works, right? So when your ribcage expands and your sternum and your chest lifts and your diaphragm descends and your back body expands, what you do to the entire volume of your thoracic cavity is you expand it, which means that the air pressure inside of you decreases. So then it means the air pressure outside of you is actually higher than the air pressure inside of you. So another law of physics says that the gas will move from high pressure to low pressure, and that's exactly what happens, right? The air around us moves inside of us to create equilibrium and balance. And I drew you a reference of being at higher altitudes. So when you're at higher altitudes, the air pressure around you is less. That's why it's more difficult to breathe, because you have to expand more to create that difference in air pressure so that air will move inside of you. So I went on to explain that it's simple enough to say, okay, you create space, expand your rib cage, diaphragm descends, lift your chest, expand your back body, so you even breathe into your back. Imagine that. You can even breathe into your back. You want to breathe through the entire circumference of your thoracic spine, right? Of your thoracic body. But I explained that the muscles of our body have so much to do with our ability to breathe. And this is so often overlooked, even by athletes, right? People who depend greatly on their breath. Imagine that you have a line of muscles, right? Connective tissue and muscle that travel from the base of your foot, behind your calf, then it comes up your psoas, your quads, your hamstrings, connects to your lower lumbar of your spine, your diaphragm, and then to the tip of your tongue. One line of connective tissue and muscle. Actually, probably many lines, but my point is that all muscles of our body are connected. So if your hamstrings are tight, your quads are tight, your muscles on the sides of your body are tight, that's like somebody pulling down on your rib cage towards the floor, towards your feet, and then telling you breathe. Of course, you can't, because you can't expand to breathe, right? Same thing with the muscles of your shoulders and your back. If they're all tight, they can't, the muscles of your shoulders and your back work in lifting the sternum, expanding the chest, right? Muscles of the back, if they're tight and contracted, you can't expand your back body to breathe. So muscles of your body play a really big part in allowing you to be able to breathe. And I mentioned that, I've been practicing yoga for 15 years, and more I practice, and the more I realize that fundamentally, these yoga postures we practice expand our body's capacity to breathe. And the more we breathe, the more we can quiet your mind to sit. There are teachings in the tradition of yoga that say that asanas are postures, right? They're postures you do in a yoga practice. And they say that we practice asana so that we can sit still in prayer and meditation for long periods of time. And it makes absolute sense. Because if your body is tight and contracted, one, you can't sit comfortably, and two, you can't breathe comfortably. And if you're not breathing, your mind is going to be overreactive. So you're not going to be able to sit still, right? Again, it's all interconnected. So in case you missed last week's session, go back and watch it. But also think of your breath as, one of my teachers, Leslie Kaminoff, I studied with online, never actually met him. He describes breath as shape change, right? So the more space you can create in your body, the more breath you can receive. The more you can expand your ribcage, lift your sternum, expand your back body, allow your diaphragm to descend, is the more breath you can receive. Now, remember, like we said last week, you don't ever want to pull or fight with your breath. You don't, it's the relationship. So you don't want to create more tension in your body. You want to create space and allow breath to move inside of you rather than trying to pull or force the air inside of you, right? And one more thing I want to mention that I did not mention last week is that, I'm up in my phone, is that you want to try your very best to breathe through your nose. Your nose is meant for breathing. The mouth is meant for eating and speaking. But the makeup of your nasal cavity and your mouth are very different. And I know a lot of people breathe out their mouth out of habit, but I want to highly encourage you to breathe through your nose, even during physical exercise and physical exertion. It's been proven that breathing through your nose actually increases your physical performance. And that's in a book called Breath by, I forgot the author's name, but you should check it out. I understand too that for some of us, maybe nasal cavity is blocked or whatever it is, and we physically cannot breathe through our nose, then okay, breathe through your mouth. I don't want you not to breathe at all. But whatever you need to do to clear nasal passage, I would highly encourage you to try to do, right? Not just now, but period, because breathing out of your nose is so much more beneficial than breathing out of your mouth. So we're gonna move on to our breathing practices today, and we're gonna repeat one of the ones we did last week. So last week we did Viloma, right? Viloma was a 3-part breath where we dissected the breath into 3 parts. So first, bottom part being your diaphragm descending and filling your abdominal cavity with air. The second part being your rib cage and the side of your body expanding. And then the third part being your sternum, your chest, and your back body expanding, right? So those are 3 parts that I'm referring to. There aren't any straight lines that dissect them. You need to feel what that means for you, right? Think of your ribcage expanding like a fish, like gills of a fish. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 3-part inhale, 1 long exhale is the first practice we're gonna do. And we're gonna do 3 rounds with recovery breaths in between, and I'll guide you as to what that means. And then we're gonna do 1 long inhale and a 3-part exhale, right? Now, if your breath capacity is limited, I don't want you to strain your breath. So you move on your breath and what feels right to you, right? I don't want anyone like fighting to breathe. That's not what we're trying to do. I want you to feel different parts of your breath, right? And then we're gonna connect them after that. So come to the bottom of your exhale, sit up tall, close your eyes. For some of you, if you need to sit on a chair or lie on your back, go for it. Just whatever's comfortable, try not to fall asleep. So just come to the bottom of your exhale. And just look at your breath. Just connect to your breath. Just look at it move. And start to lengthen the breath. So start to invite the breath up into your body and up into your ribcage. Feel the expanse of your ribcage and your chest, your sternum, and then in the bottom of your next exhale, I want you to pause. Just come to a slight pause. Inhale into your lower third, your diaphragm descends, your belly expands. Pause. Inhale into your middle third, your ribcage expands, your side body expands. Pause. Then inhale up into your sternum and your chest, even the back of your body. Pause. One long, smooth exhale from the top down, from your chest, your sternum, all the way down, get all the air out of your body. Bottom of your exhale, draw your belly to your spine and pause. And release. Just allow the air to come back into you. And now come to the bottom of your exhale again and pause. Inhale 1/3, diaphragm descends, belly expands. Lower third, pause. Inhale into your rib cage, your side body. Pause. Inhale up into your sternum, your chest, your back body. Pause. Long, smooth exhale from the top down. Sternum contracts, back body contracts, ribcage contracts, side body, belly to spine, diaphragm ascends all the way out of your body. Hold. And now just release. Allow your breath to come back in. And then come to the bottom of your exhale and pause. We're going to go for one more round like that. Inhale into your lower third. Diaphragm descends, belly area expands with air. Pause. Inhale into your second third, your rib cage, your side body expands. Pause. Inhale up into your sternum, your chest, your back body. Pause. Take an extra sip of air if you can. Pause. Exhale from the top down. All the way down. Long, smooth exhale. Ribcage contracts, sternum descends, diaphragm ascends, belly to spine. All the way out of your body. Hold. And release. Just allow your breath to come back in. You can keep your eyes closed. I'll just talk you into the next set. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go for one long, smooth inhale and a 3-part exhale. So come to the bottom of your exhale and pause. Get all the air out of your body. One long, smooth inhale from the base of your spine all the way up. Feel your diaphragm descend, your ribcage expand, Side body expand, sternum expand, back body expand, right up to your collarbone. Make it take an extra sip of air. Hold. Now exhale your first third. Your sternum descends, your back body contracts. Pause. Exhale, your rib cage contracts, your side body contracts. Pause. Exhale all the way out. Bottom third now. Diaphragm ascends, belly draws to your spine. Get all the way out. Don't force it, don't fight. Hold and release. Allow your breath back into you. Remember, when it's time to release, don't pull the air in. Just release and allow the air to come back in. Right? So we're going to go for another round. Come to the bottom of your exhale and pause. One long, smooth inhale, linking all three parts of your breath. Feel your breath move up three sides of your body, back of your body, up to your sternum, up to your chest, up to your neck. Take an extra sip of air. Hold, but relax your shoulders. And now exhale from the top down. Sternum descends, back body contracts. Pause. Rib cage contracts, side body contracts. Pause. Diaphragm ascends, belly to your spine, get all the air out of your body. Hold and release comfortably. Just allow the air back in. You can go for one more round. Come to the bottom of your exhale and pause. All the air out of your body. One long, smooth inhale from the top, from the bottom up. Diaphragm descends to your lower abdomen, then your rib cage, your side body, your chest, your sternum, right up through your back body, your neck. Take an extra sip of air. Hold. Exhale your top third, your sternum, your back body, your chest. Pause. Exhale your rib cage contracts, your side body contracts. Pause. Exhale, your belly draws to your spine, your diaphragm ascends, getting all the air out. Pause and release. Just allow the air back in. Allow your body to rest, just settle. If your breath wants to move, let it move. I always say, real freedom is surrender of your breath. You don't tell your lover what they must do, you give them the freedom. So if on your exhale you surrender your breath and allow your breath to come back if it chooses to come back. So now the next practice we're gonna do, we're gonna link those two, right? So we're gonna dissect the inhale into three parts. And we're gonna dissect the exhale into three parts. And we're gonna do it 3 times around, right? Remember, don't strain your body, and you will take recovery breaths in between. So come to the bottom of your exhale and pause. Inhale your bottom third. Pause. Inhale your middle section, ribcage, side body. Pause. Inhale your sternum, your chest, your back body. Pause. Now exhale your sternum, your chest, your back body. Pause. Exhale your middle section, your rib cage, your side body. Pause. Exhale, your belly draws to your spine. Your diaphragm ascends to get all the air out. And release. Just allow your breath to come back in. So your abdominal muscles have so much to do with your breath, right? While the diaphragm is the main muscle of breathing, there's so many other muscles that contribute to our ability to breathe. So come to the bottom of your exhale again and pause. Inhale your lower third, your diaphragm, your abdomen. Pause. Inhale your side body, your rib cage. Pause. Inhale your sternum and your chest. Pause. Exhale your sternum and your chest. Pause. Exhale your side body and your rib cage. Pause. Exhale your belly draws to your spine, your diaphragm ascends, get all the air out, hold, and release. So one more round. Come to the bottom of your exhale calmly. Don't rush to it. Just next exhale, come to it. Inhale into your bottom third. Diaphragm descends. Pause. Inhale into your rib cage, your side body. Pause. Inhale into your sternum, your chest, your back body, like your wings of an angel. Pause. Exhale your sternum, your chest, your back body. Pause. Exhale your rib cage, your side body. Pause. Exhale your belly to your spine, your diaphragm ascends, get all the air out of your body. And release. Just allow your breath back in. Now, if you need to change positions, please do, right? Remember, you want to be comfortable. Change positions consciously and carefully. Don't just fling your body around. Now, you can keep your eyes closed if you like. So what we're going to do now is just a few rounds of box breathing. So we're going to do 4-second inhale. We're going to hold for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4. And then hold for 4. 3 times around, right? Try to keep your breath through your nose. Remember, keep it smooth and long, not hard and fast. Come to the bottom of your next exhale and pause. Inhale for 4, 2, hold. Exhale for 4, hold. Inhale for 4, hold. Exhale for 4, hold. One more time. Inhale for 4, pause. Exhale for 4, hold. And release. So if that was a little bit much for some of you and you felt like you were straining your breath or too much tension, then you can shorten the count, right? Maybe you do 3 seconds, 2 seconds until you expand the capacity to breathe. The other thing you can do is take recovery breaths in between. So you can do 4 seconds, inhale, hold, exhale for 4, hold for 4, then release the breath, and then go for another round, right? That's what we're gonna do now, but we're gonna do another breath. So we're gonna inhale for 4, we're gonna hold for 7, and exhale for 8, right? Now, if that is a little bit much for you, then you just alter the count, right? But I want you to hold for longer than you inhale, and I want you to exhale for longer than you hold, right? So we're gonna do 4, 7, 8, which means that if you wanna get your full breath in a count of 4, you really need to expand your ribcage and your chest, right? So it's still smooth and calm, but it's more like, right? Then you hold, then you exhale. Remember, remain soft. I was exaggerating a little bit, right? So just be with your breath. You can do 3 times around. Come to the bottom of your exhale and pause. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, hold. Exhale for 8. All the way out, all the way out, all the way out. Hold and release. Just release the breath. Let your recovery breath come in just for a few rounds. It'll probably be short and shallow. Just enough to get you ready for the next round. Come to the bottom of your exhale and pause. Inhale for a count of 4, 3, 2, hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Hold and release the breath. Just allow the breath to come back in. Gonna go for one more round, almost there. Come to the bottom of your exhale. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, hold, 7. Exhale for 8. And hold as long as you can comfortably. Don't strain your breath. Don't strain your breath. It's not a competition. And when you're ready, gently release the breath and allow air to come back into you. And just look at the breath for a few cycles. Just allow your breath, welcome your breath back in. Allow it to move as it needs. And some of you might choose to remain seated to close your practice, but I want to invite you to come to lie in Shavasana, which means you will lie on your back, your palms turn up, your toes will turn out. Just allow your whole body to surrender. Relax your tongue, relax your jaw. Close your eyes, allow yourself to settle. So I'm going to read you guys a little story that I read for our breathing session that I didn't click record for. And I'll give you some context. It's a short conversation between an amazing Kirtan singer and teacher called Krishna Das and his guru, named Karoli Baba, who is, I think, for me at least, a really beautiful, amazing um, Indian teacher, someone I would have definitely loved to meet and revere highly. But this is a conversation between Krishna Das and Karoli Baba. So Maharaji, who's named Baba, Maharaji says to Ram Das, sorry, Ram Das, not Krishna Das. My bad. Maharaji says to Ram Das, still an amazing, beautiful teacher. Right? So Maharaji says to Ram Das, you shouldn't fear anyone if you live in truth. God will always stand with you. No fear. So Ram Das says, Christ feared nothing. Maharaji says, Christ didn't fear death. Maharaji began to cry and held his hand and his hand to his head. He said, the body passes away. Everything is impermanent except love of God. If you have a pure heart and mind, you love God. How can I keep you from making food if you love God? Some places only let sadhus prepare the food, but here I let everyone make food because they all have pure hearts and are equal in the eyes of God. Ram Das says, but we feel so impure. Maharaji replies, if I don't believe you're impure, I know you're pure and you love God. He repeats, I don't believe you are impure. I know you are pure and you love God. Ram Das begins to cry. And Maharaji says, if you love God, you overcome all impurities. The blood in us all is one. The arms, the legs, the hearts are all one. The same blood flows through us all. God is one. No fear. People didn't believe Christ until he died. Ram Das is a yogi and should fear nothing. The heart never grows old. So while I did not get to play harmonium for class on last Thursday, I am going to play for a few minutes now before we close our practice. And I am an extreme amateur and not a musician, so please forgive me. Just in case. Divinely acknowledges the divine within yourself and all living things as I say Namaste. Feel free to check us out at beyondyogatv.com and join us every Tuesday evening in June for free. Yeah, no charge. So join us, come and sit and read. Share with your friends and family. Love.